Hello. I'm back with another episode. I'm gonna just get right into it because I'm already behind. So let me just get this out the way. Not that like it's a chore, but like I'm just so mad that I'm this behind. But anyways, we're here again this week talking about Reasonable Doubt. We're on episode 6. Episode 6 was titled No Church in the Wild, and I believe that was the perfect title for this episode. This was by far the best episode of the whole season so far. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Like I said, the title goes very well with what went on in this episode because it was very wild and nobody called on Jesus' name. I don't remember Jesus being mentioned in this episode, so there was definitely no church in the wild. And while we talking about Jesus, I just feel as though the cast and not the cast, but like the people in the show. I mean, I know they're the cast, but I'm not talking about them in real life. But I'm talking about them on the show. They need to call on Jesus because this is just out of hand. This is out of hand. So we start off the episode with Ozzy having a nightmare. And in the nightmare, it's windy. And then like you hear a voice, and I don't even remember what he was saying, but you hear a voice, and then like Wendy turns into Monica, and it's just weird. And like when it first came on and we saw Wendy, I was like, okay, Ozzy killed Wendy because why he having nightmares? Like if you didn't hurt, like if you didn't do nothing wrong, you wouldn't be having nightmares. Like she would be appearing to you as an angel. But then Wendy morphs into Monica, and I'm just like, oh, maybe he's just being haunted. Like, I don't even know. Like I said, I don't remember what was being said in this nightmare. But then he wakes up to Monica consoling him. And I'm just like, why are you with this man? Like, you are disgusting. Leave him alone. I just can't stand her, like in this episode made me not like her even more because this episode truly showed how sick she is. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But I don't like Monica, and yeah, we're just gonna get into it because she did a lot this episode. I wrote a note down that said, like, because you know how before the show starts, it's like, it says, like, previously on. So I wrote a note that Alex actually told Kristen while they were talking one time that we need to talk about Wendy. And I remember last episode I was saying, like, she keeps brushing him off. Like, every time he tries to ask about something, she like, starts kissing him or tries to, like, change the subject. And, yeah. So I think this is the episode, because I'm just looking at my notes, y'all, and I didn't watch, even though this was my favorite episode of the season, I didn't watch it as many times as I watched the other ones. I don't know why, but I really liked this episode. So Jax went to Eddie's, NA meeting, and in this meeting, I actually saw, like, I was like, oh, wow, casting did a good job because Jax and Eddie low-key look alike. Like, I see it all in the cheeks when they smile. So I'm like, okay, casting, y'all did your big one. Not only does the man who plays Eddie also play... He always plays like a drug addict or alcoholic. Like he also looks very much like his daughter in this show. So like they did a really good job with casting him because he clearly knows how to play the role because this is a role he's always given. Like I feel like he's being typecasted as an addict. But yeah, he actually looks like he could be his daughter's father. And then his what do they call it? His sponsor was telling him that he needs to tell Jax the truth. So I was thinking that the truth would be that he's sick, But then we find out that at the end of the episode that it's not him that's sick, it's Mama Lou. So we're gonna get to that once we start talking about the end. But yeah, I thought at this moment when the sponsor was telling when the sponsor was telling Eddie that he needs to tell Jax the truth, I thought, like, I bet he's sick. But it turns out I had the wrong parent. There was so Bill is back on my hit list. Yeah, I don't like him anymore because he's a snitch. And like, it's like, I know you want to be partner, but it's like me personally, I don't kiss butt to get the things that I want. I do the work, like, and I let my work speak for me. And if that's not enough, then I'm so sorry. Like, I'm so sorry. That's just not, it just wasn't my opportunity because I just like kissing butt has to be my biggest pet peeve. And here Bill is kissing butt to be partners, snitching to the partners that Jax wants to put Monica on the stand, which and I really thought he was going to take up for her, which he still has. He still has room to prove himself and to stay by Jax's side, but it's just not looking like that. Like, it's giving sneaky, and I thought that I had moved past it, but no, it's giving sneaky, it's giving conniving, it's giving, I want to do whatever it takes to become a partner. And it's like the same way they're using you to do whatever they're trying to do to Jax, they can use somebody else to do the same thing to try to do with you as soon as they feel like, you're overstepping or whatever the case may be. And that's why I don't like kissing up, because especially kissing up in a conniving way, because the way that you get up there is the same way that you can lose your position. But I'm gonna let him do what he feel like he got to do, even though I hate it. But you reap what you sow. And if you don't make partner, that's goody for you. Anyways, yeah. And Jax, tried to call him on it. Like, she peeped. Because when they were in the meeting, she was like, so why are they questioning me about who I want to put on the stand? Like, are you talking to them? And he's like, no, I'm not talking to them. Yes, you are. Be a man about yours. Stand on it. But, that's how people be. They love to do sneaky stuff behind your back and not stand on business when you approach them. And I don't appreciate it. Like, this is why I just don't do no sneaky stuff. Because if you feel like you can't be upfront and honest, then you don't need to be doing what you're doing. Because, it's just cowardly behavior. And I hate it. I hate it so much. All right? And then, so we get to this part where Daniel is doing his private investigator, and I'm thinking he private investigating on Jack's daddy. He private investigating on Kristen. And when I first saw this, I thought, maybe he was, stalking her because, they have a thing now, they didn't have sex. I'm like, is he, trying to know her every move because that's his lover? But then but when it came back towards the end of the episode, I was like, oh, well, maybe he was just doing his job. Because I do remember Jax telling him to watch Kristen, but I'm thinking he's watching Kristen for his personal gain. But I think he was actually doing his job, and he just, he was doing his job, and he stumbled upon her going to lunch or getting coffee with a man, or I don't know what they were doing. And I'm thinking, when I first saw it, I'm thinking, oh, yeah, she using Daniel because this her man. She going on dates. I don't know. But that wasn't the case at all. You see, I really be reaching, but I feel like you have to reach. You have to reach because you don't know what's going to happen in these shows. And I just be throwing things out there, hoping that they'll stick. But the man that she met up with was definitely not her man. And we're going to get to that. We're going to get to that later. But I thought she was using Daniel and that this was her man. Which she still could be using Daniel. But the man she was with, yeah, that's not her man. So, Monica, I believe this is I'm gonna go to the scene where they were in the house. I believe they went to court before this. Like I said, I didn't watch this episode that many times, so I don't know. But I'll do better. I'm gonna do better, y'all. But so let's talk about the scene where Monica is at Ozzy's house, and Ozzy mentions that it's his birthday, and I was like, so why? Well, before I get into that, so Monica, I don't remember their conversation like before he started talking about his birthday, but she was she came over there. I remember now. She came over there because she got a subpoena to be a witness in court. And she was charging him up, and he was like, yo, chill, it's my birthday. And I'm like, oh, it's his birthday. Happy birthday. And I was just like, I'd hate to be on trial for murder during my birthday. Like, how can you even celebrate? Like, I would just be devastated. But anyways, she was charging him up, and he was like, well, I don't know what you did that night. Like, did you kill Wendy? Like, basically alluding to her being the murderer. And then Monica was like, because in the last episode when he was on the phone with her, she was like, I'm protecting you, and she always talks about how she takes care of everything that he needs. And he was like, so did you take care of it? Is this how you took care of it? And she told him, I found the bloody sweatshirt in your room, and I burnt it to protect you. So that's what she was burning, a bloody sweatshirt she found in Ozzy's room. And when she said that, I was like, so either Ozzy killed her or Kristen killed her and put the sweatshirt in his room. Which, if she did that, that's low down. Like I don't know what it is. Like, if she's purposefully trying to frame her brother, that is low down as low down could get. Like, I could understand better you doing the murder to protect your brother or whatever the case may be, but to plant the sweatshirt in his room, unless she left it there accidentally, but I don't know how you could just leave a bloody sweatshirt in somebody's room accidentally and never get it out. But if she planted that sweatshirt in her brother's room on purpose, like, that's messed up. Like, I know siblings, have their quarrels. My brother get on my nerves all the time. But to set him up for murder, I would never do that. I would never do that. But yeah, so they was talking about that, and then Ozzy's friends come over, and we finally see Cordell. I've been waiting on Cordell this whole season, and he has a very minor role. But I'm proud of him. I think this was his first ever acting role. And I was just happy to see him, living out his dream and, doing what he wanted to do. And so, yeah, I see Cordell. He's one of the friends. I don't even think he really just has a full line. Like, he's just a part of the crew. And that was just so great to see. I finally saw Cordell. So he is not Byron. Or at least I don't think he's Byron, because they keep bringing Byron up, but then they keep brushing him off. So I guess we're going to see Byron later. But yeah, I finally saw Cordell. So yeah, and then so his friends come over and they're ready to celebrate Ozzy's birthday, and he like, yeah, let's do it. And he was like, Monica, since you like taking care of everything, go call the strippers, let's get this party started. And I was just like, ooh. And soon enough, they have the party. The strippers are there. And Monica just sitting there. And I'm just like, girl, go home. Like, why are you here? But then she is his agent. So I could see why, she wanted to stay to make sure nobody else gets murdered. But at the same time, like, she all up in a room, like, watching him. I'm like, girl, please find you somewhere to be. Because then when he goes to have sex with one of the strippers and she goes in the room to watch, I was disgusted. Like, you are a fully grown woman. Like, you gotta be at least 10 years, 5 to 10 years older than Ozzy. And I'm going to give it 10. Because I think Ozzy's supposed to be fairly young, like early 20s. So she may be early 30s. I'm going to give it 10 years at least older than him. And you still obsessed with this man. Like, that is just nasty. Like, first of all, I don't think, like, if I was even in a platonic relationship with somebody and like there was no abuse going on, I couldn't watch them have sex with somebody else. Like, that's not a kink to me. That is disgusting. I would be disgusted. But for you to sit here and already be his abuser, and now you watching him have sex, like, it's cool. Like, she is so messed up in so many ways. And then, like, to think about it, like, she done watched this man have all kind of girlfriends. And, like, this is what you want? Like, and, like, we are going to get into that more later when we get to, like, how she was acting after court and during court. But, like, first of all, you abused this man when he was a child. And then you keep having sex with him, and he think it's cool because he don't know that it's abuse. He just think, wow, the ladies love me. You don't watch this man have girlfriends, and you just get off watching him, like, do stuff with other people. I could never. She's sick, and that's the only word I have for her. She's sick. Anyways, so I believe after that scene is a court scene. He has court the next day, which, baby, you on trial for murder, and you done had the time of your life last night, and you just, like, I couldn't be on trial for murder and party like he partied, then have to go to court the next morning and just be away. Like, I know he was tired. I don't know if he drunk anything, but I know he said, like, no drugs, but I think he said, like, he could have weed. But I don't know if he got drunk, but, like, hungover in court. Like, I didn't notice him being hungover or anything like that. But, I mean, it's a TV show. It's whatever. And then people do things all the time. Like, people go party and, be having busy days the next day. But the way my social battery and my energy is set up, I'd be tired. Now, so now we're in court and Kristen is testifying. And she didn't do very well. Like, she was crying, she was nervous. The prosecutor kept tripping her up with his questions. Oh, and mind you, we got a new prosecutor because the other guy, he had to quit because of his mental health. And I remember last episode I kept saying, like, the way he crashed out in that last episode had me very concerned. I was super concerned, but I guess he has mental health issues and it was just getting to him. So, he had to take a step back and he's no longer the prosecutor on this case. So they got the other guy. He is now the prosecutor. But anyways, he kept tripping Kristen up with his questions. And she just didn't do a good job in helping her brother. And the fact that she was texting him and unsending the messages, she was somewhere around when this crime was being taken place. Like, she covered it up really well, saying that she was just talking about how he had fell out with his parents. So she did pretty well in covering up what she was actually texting him about, because I don't think that's what she was actually texting him about. I think she was actually texting him about something that went down at that cabin. She was definitely there. I believe Monica, Ozzy, Alex, Kristen, they were all there. And yeah, they probably weren't all there at the same time. They probably all didn't see each other, but I believe they were all there that night. And yeah, so she's definitely, like Jack's been saying this whole time, she's definitely hiding something. I still do think she's still my number one contender for being the murderer. And part of me feels like she was acting up there. Like she did all that being nervous, all of that. Like I feel like she did that on purpose. Like after Monica said she found that sweatshirt in Ozzy's room, my mind went to her being the killer and she purposefully is trying to set her brother up. Why? I don't know. And I talked to my friend, and I'm going to say her name this time because we talk about the show every Sunday after church. Miss Sharissa, she was saying that that maybe, since Ozzy gets all the attention, like she kind of wanted some attention, which that is a valid point. But if that is the reason, that girl is a psychopath and she needs help. Because why do you want this kind of attention? But I do agree. Me and Miss Sharissa both think that Kristen is the murderer. If she acted alone, I don't know. But she definitely has something to do with Wendy being dead. And if she is, like, I truly think, like, she's setting her brother up. Like, she was just, like, I never seen her that nervous before. And she just all shook up in court. Like, she always talking about she handles stuff, so why is she so scared? Like, she always talking about how she takes care of Ozzy. She done been around drug dealers. She done been around. So, like, why are you so scared now? And I just feel like it was all an act. And I think she's doing this on purpose so her brother could go down for murder. Yeah, and I'm like, the cause of her murdering Wendy, that's been swirling around in my mind. Like, what if she like I get her killing Wendy because Ozzy was trying to get out of business with his parents. He didn't want them to be his managers anymore. And, Wendy could have been, a threat to his career. So I get her killing her for that reason. But my mind went to a really dark place during this episode. And I figured this. But so I remember in one of the earlier episodes, it's just kind of a weird dynamic between Ozzy and his sister, right? Number one, she always takes care of things, right? Ozzy has been abused by Monica. We know that, right? But when Kristen was like she was cuddling with Daniel on the couch one time, and Ozzy was like, "What are you doing? You always discard your boyfriends. Like, get off of him." Which valid points he was making, because she don't need to be messing with nobody that's handling his trial. But the way he was just so agitated, my mind went directly to incest. And it could be because I be watching some crazy stuff, y'all. Like the Menendez brothers, they was abused by their parent. And I don't know if you saw, like, I was watching I'm sorry, this is a side quest, but I was watching their little show or whatever that's on Netflix. And before we knew that they were being abused by their parents, the show showed them, like, licking each other's fingers. And I was just like, excuse me, what are y'all doing? So, like, it's, like, I've seen incest on the television, right? And this is the way he just, like, don't be talking to Daniel, why are you all up on him, and da-da-da-da, and then making Daniel leave. Like, he was agitated, like, which he clearly has a problem, because he gets agitated a lot. He gets mad a lot. But yeah, I think it might be some incest going on, and she might have killed Wendy. I just realized I went on a whole tangent. But anyways, I feel like it's some incest that's going on. And I feel like she might have killed Wendy because she want her brother to herself. Now, I know that is a very far reach, and I really do hope I'm wrong. But we got to keep that in the back of our minds, because it's something weird going on between them two. And I just watch a lot of TV, and I just know how far left things could go. So I be thinking about the farthest left thing, and you got to put that in there, because not all TV is realistic. Like, but so far, this show has been pretty realistic. So that might not be the case, but hey, I just had to throw it out there. It's been a reoccurring thought but I really hope it's not true, because, like, that's disgusting. And yeah, he done already been abused. And if there is something ancestral going on with him and his sister, like, just throw the whole family away. Just throw the whole family away, because, like, that's nasty. But okay, that's probably not the case. But I just had to throw it out there. And then she is his big sister. You know, Monica might not have been the only abuser, because he did say, I never said it was Monica, even though we know it's Monica because she admitted to it in court. But there could have been somebody else too. You know, we don't know. We don't know. We don't know. And then, anyways, but off of that. So after Kristen finished testifying, she is all in tears. But okay, not off of that. Okay, sorry. Okay, so it's probably not incest. Like 96% of me is saying it's not incest. It was just a wild reach that I had to throw out there. But 95% of me thinks she sent her brother up on purpose. All right. What reason? I don't know, but probably so. So anyways, after she's crying in court, Daniel comes out. Sorry. After she's crying in court, Daniel like runs to console her. He was like, "Hey, come meet me over here." They try to go to a private spot in the hallway of the courtroom, which there is no private spot. He's like consoling her, hugging her, and then Jax's assistant, I never remember her name. She came out and she caught them, and it's like, ooh, damn, you caught. Now she know who you in love with, and she finna get on your behind, because that's not a good idea. Like, going back to, again, I know why Ozzy was mad at Kristen for being all over him, because it's just not a good idea. Like, it's a very messy situation. But I'm gonna leave that alone, because I done already went down a rabbit hole. Jax had on her red bottoms in court, okay. Yeah, and then so we see her. So then we get to this scene where her and Sally are at dinner, or maybe they just having drinks. And the whole last episode, I called Sally Angie. I don't know where I got Angie from, but her name is Sally. I gotta start remembering these people's names. But anyways, they're having drinks, and she's talking about how she finally, asked her husband for the divorce, and Jax is proud of her. And then Bill walks up, and I'm just like, here he go, because he's trying to get the inside scoop on Jax. So here he go, being friendly, being all up, flirting with Sally, and Jax, tells him, like, that's not a good idea. She's going through a lot, and you need to go home to your wife, because Jax doesn't know that he's separated from his wife. Now, so I skipped a part. So let's go back. Let's take it back a little bit. Bill and his wife went to dinner, and, he's trying to make up to her. He's trying to tell her, trying to show her that he loves her, because she was saying, like, he don't put in enough time with his family. He's all about work, work, work. And so he's trying to, like, he took her on a date. It was a very nice date. And she had a good time, but he was trying to come in after the day, and she was like, no, I'm so sorry. Like, I've been talking to a divorce lawyer. We probably need a divorce. And he is like, he seems heartbroken about it. But she just doesn't think anything is going to change in their marriage, and she ready to be done. Now, let's go back to what I was talking about with Sally. So Sally is also asking for a divorce from her husband. So her and Bill keep flirting, and Jax told him, like, you need to go home and be with your wife, because she doesn't know that he's separated. And he was like, okay. And then Sally was talking to her, and she was like, that's not a good idea, Sally. He's married. His wife is black. So I was like, "Oh, okay," because she knew he was feeling her, and but Sally pointed out that he didn't have a ring on, and Jax was like, "Huh?" And she was like, "Yeah, girl, you don't have no ring on." And then Jax goes to the bathroom. Sally goes and takes a picture of Bill's phone number and texts him from her phone. And I'm just like, girl, please. Like, calm down. Like, you was just having sex with your husband. Like, even though you figured out that y'all needed a divorce, it wasn't too long ago where you was having sex with that man. Like, just give yourself a break. Please. Please. All right, so we're back in court. Jax got this bad suit on, and I wonder if that was a Louis Vuitton suit because it had their little. I don't know what that print was called, but they used to have that print on their back. So I was like, is this Louis Vuitton? Is this a Louis Vuitton suit or blazer that Jax got on? Because I love that blazer. That was a look. And now we got and it was the Louis Vuitton colors. It was that brown, just like the Louis Vuitton bags used to be. So I wonder if that was Louis Vuitton. It was cute. But anyway, so now we got Monica on the stand, and she came to court trying to look all innocent with her hair pulled back, and she had on this button-up dress. It looked like a denim dress, but it was like button-up. Or maybe I think it was a suit, but it looked kind of like denim-y. But she was definitely, trying to look innocent, professional, all of these things. And she just got on my nerves the entire time. I do everything for Ozzy. I always take care of him. I do the best job as his agent. Anything he needs, I take care of, and I'm just always there for Ozzy. And it's like, and then she was like, anything he needs, like everything, like personal and business. And I'm just like, girl, you sound sick. And she said everything she needed to say to get Jax to question her the way that she did. And she basically admitted in court that she was having sex with Ozzy, and she admitted that it started when she was 13. Well, when he was 13, I mean. And like the whole court was in shock, and she was saying, but I love him, and I was just like, girl, you sound crazy, you are sick. How do you love that man? And she was just saying he was the man that like he's just a wonderful man, and like he provided for himself, and like she was basically like, she was talking about a man, but she failed to realize that he was a child when she started messing with him. Like, and I think like that be the thing. Like people see these, and that's how child actors like get taken advantage of, because they have all of this money to provide. They have all of these opportunities that people don't see them as the kids that they really are. And it's just like, and that has happened to so many child stars. Like so many child stars have a troubled past because people just take and take and take from them, and they don't know how to say no because they're children. Like, and it was just sick. Like, I just hated to see that. Like, it was disgusting because she was talking about him like he was a grown man. And it's like, girl, go find you a man to do all those things for you. And that was probably the problem. She never knew nobody that was as powerful as him, that took over rooms like him, and that had all the money that he had. But I don't know how she could look at him and see a man and not a child. Like that. That's crazy to me. But yeah, she definitely needed to find a grown man who could provide those things for her. And it's hard, but baby, a child, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Like, I know these men ain't worth nothing, but a child ain't worth nothing either. I'm so sorry. Like, it's not, no, thank you. No, thank you. Put her on the prayer list because she is crazy. She needs prayer. Only God can forgive that. And That's nasty. I'm so sorry. It's just nasty. Yeah. And then even after court, she Ozzy, how could you do this to me? I love you. I love girl. Go home. Go home. Like, why didn't it? First of all, after her testimony, whatever they call it in the courtroom, after her testifying in the courtroom, she needed to be in jail. They should have locked her up. Cause is the statute of limitations up for that? Because she needs to be in jail. She just confessed to sexually abusing a child. Lock her up. She shouldn't even still be able to talk to this man. I love you. Girl, leave. Anyways, off that, because I'm just gonna get angry. Ugh! Now, what I forgot to mention about Daniel was his new haircut. I'm not feeling it. I don't know. I mean, it low-key make him look like he looks like a girl with his new haircut. But he's cute. Like, it's cute, but he looks like a girl. But it's cute. I'm not going to hate on Daniel. But anyway, so we go to a scene where Daniel meets up with the guy that Kristen was with. And that's when we find out that he's not somebody that Kristen is dating. And this is when I realized, oh, maybe he's not stalking Kristen for his personal gain. He's probably doing his job as an investigator and trying to figure out what's going on. So he's talking to this man. This man is some kind of author, and apparently he was finna write a book about either Ozzy or this trial. Or maybe it wasn't going to be a book. Maybe it was going to be an article. It was going to be something of that nature. And he said he had the inside scoop and he had all these secrets. And I'm thinking that Kristen was the inside scoop, right? Because she was the one who was meeting with him. But he was like, I think he said the family shut it down. So maybe Kristen was meeting with him to shut it down. When he first said that, I was like, oh, Kristen's selling secrets now? Like, oh, okay. But then but then they show Alex, and he has this, he pulled out his flash drive, and then when he plugs his flash drive in, he opens up this picture of Wendy, and she has a belt in her hand. So I'm thinking it's a sex tape. Because if you remember on the last episode, Alex, like I said earlier, Alex was talking to Kristen. He was like, we need to talk about Wendy. And he was like, he said something about the video. So he has a video of Wendy that I guess everybody doesn't want to get out. From the looks of the screenshot that we saw on Alex's computer, it looks like a sex tape. Now, the question is, who is she having sex with? So again, my mind went to the incest thing, because I'm trying to figure out how Alex got, like, if it's a sex tape, was she having sex with Alex? Because how did he get the tape? Like, that's kind of weird. So, like, I'm thinking maybe she was having sex with Alex. Alex recorded it because, you know, Alex is all about the high dollar. So maybe Alex recorded it thinking one day he could sell it. But now, you know, he could be trying to sell it because it gives Ozzy motives to kill Wendy. Oh, but since we think that Kristen killed Wendy, maybe she killed him. Wait, this makes no sense. I was going to say maybe she killed him because he was having... That makes no sense because Ozzy was dating her the whole time. So Kristen had ample opportunity. This couldn't have been the reason why Kristen killed her, because she knew they was dating. But yeah, so maybe the incest thing is still thrown out. But anyways, whatever happened in that video is looking like it could point to Ozzy's motive to actually kill Wendy, because she could have been cheating on him with Alex. But we don't know. But the screenshot definitely looked like a sex tape. We just don't know who she was having sex with. I'm just throwing stuff out there. So, yeah, we saw that. It was a very fast clip. Like, at first, I didn't even see the picture, but when I watched it the second time, I saw it. So I did watch this episode at least 2 times, but I should have watched it more. Anyways, then we get to a scene of Bill and Sally having sex. And I'm just like, please, y'all. Like, everybody just moved so dirty. Like, y'all not even finally divorced yet. Like, can we please just take a break? Please. Bill, you was just almost crying over your wife. This is why she don't want to take you back, because clearly you not faithful. You ain't even give it a week before you start messing with somebody else. And you could say that that's the sex didn't mean anything to you, but you still went out and did it. And that's the problem that I have. And like, they're both just using each other as rebounds. And Sally crazy, she might end up falling for Bill. Bill don't want her. He trying to get close to Jax so he could be partners, so he could find dirt on her. And he's also trying to get over his wife. He don't want you for real, Sally. So you better not be catching no feelings for real, because that's not going to work. Jack's not going to let y'all be together. Bill don't seem like he really wants you. It's not going to work. I mean, but I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen on these next couple of episodes. We got 4 left. 4 left. Anyways, the ending of this episode happened. What's his name? Lewis called Daniel and was like, oh, I didn't even talk about, I skipped Lewis's whole dilemma. So Lewis and Lewis's family came to town. Oh, and Jackson Lewis are in therapy still, which is good for them, because all of these strains on their relationship that I talked about don't seem to be very strenuous right now. But Lewis was getting very stressed over Eddie's presence. And I really thought that was going to be like, be something that was going to put a strain on him and Jack's relationship, because as Lewis is getting more frustrated with Eddie, Jax is becoming closer to Eddie and starting to feel more empathetic towards him. But Lewis's family comes into town, but before they come into town, Lewis and Jax are in therapy, and they're talking about how his family is coming, and Jax is nervous because Lewis's family seems like the perfect family, and her family is like the opposite of that. And Lewis was saying that like he doesn't want Eddie to be there because it's just gonna add stress to the situation. Like, he just wanted to be a peaceful time with his family. But then they end up going to lunch. Eddie is there. Mama Lou is there. Lewis's parents are there. We see them for the first time. And Lewis's brother is there. And Lewis's parents, like, they're cool. They seem cool, but they drop a bomb on Lewis because, like, his dad tells him that he's moving to Florida. And then Lewis is like, why are y'all moving to Florida? Like, y'all just gonna sell our childhood home? And then his mom was like, well, it doesn't make sense for me to live there by myself. And Lewis was like, why do you live there by yourself? And she was like, oh, we haven't been living in the same house for years. And Lewis was like, are y'all getting a divorce? And she was like, no, we just don't even like, she was like, even when we were living in the same house, we didn't sleep in the same bed, which I don't really understand. Like, I get, like, a lot of, like, some people in marriages do that. Like, they be needing their personal space. But I don't really understand that. Like, I mean, and I'm also not married, but I also feel like when I do get a husband, I'm going to want to sleep with him at night. Because what is the point of not sleeping together? Like, not even sexually. Like, what is the point of not laying in bed together? Like, do you hate me that much? No, I'm just kidding. But, I mean, whatever works for people's marriages works for people's marriages. But I also don't see, like, why are you moving to another state, like, without me? And we supposed to be married. And she's saying they're not getting a divorce. That's just so weird to me. I feel like that's not. And so, like, I said this show is very realistic. But black people don't be doing that for real. Like, huh? You gonna move to another state without me and we still married? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I did say whatever makes your marriage works, but absolutely not. Not in this house. Not in this house. Nah, I'm just kidding. I don't know. That's weird to me though. But Louis just was not having it because he was like, what? Like, Like, his perfect family is falling apart, and he's shocked. And his daddy was like, well, we grown, and we been grown before you been grown, so you can't tell us what to do. And he was like, you don't be telling us about what goes on in your relationship, which points were made, because it's been some wild stuff that's been happening in him and Jack's relationship. Like, y'all was separated, and y'all was having sex with people. You just sat up here and had a baby. Like, it's a lot going on over there. But still, like, I feel like both of their marriages are very unconventional. But Jackson Lewis seems to be working through it and making it work. I don't know what's going on with Lewis's parents, but that's weird to me. Maybe they just weren't trying to tell him at that time that they were getting a divorce, because they hadn't told him, like, they haven't been living together and all this. Maybe they're going to tell him later, but they said they wasn't getting a divorce. So they're, at this point, they're not getting a divorce. But they really hit it off with Eddie. Like, they liked Eddie. And yeah, Lewis was very annoyed by that. He don't want nobody to like Eddie. He wants Eddie to be gone. But after the lunch or whatever, Lewis's brother talks to him, and he's just like, you know, like, you gotta stop tripping. Like, and you could tell, like, Lewis's brother told his parents, like, about Jackson Lewis, because they was like, well, you don't tell us what's going on in your marriage. And then it cut to the brother looking all weird and stuff. But yeah, the brother was just talking some sense into him, and just was like, you want them to be perfect, but your marriage is not perfect. So, and he was like, just like you want your kids to give you grace about what you went through, you got to give your mom and dad grace, which is good advice, but that situation is just weird to me personally. But yeah, I mean, he that is correct. Like, Lewis got to let up a little bit. And so Lewis decides to also let up on Eddie. And he calls Daniel, and he tells him, like, okay, we need to, like, we can stop investigating Eddie. Like, I'm going to let it go. And so I think he was going to go, he left that, he said that on Daniel's voicemail, because Daniel didn't answer the phone. Because Daniel was calling Alex, trying to get in touch with Alex, because he had found out stuff from the author. But anyways, that happens, and I don't know if Lewis was about to leave the house or what, but Eddie shows up at Lewis's door, and Lewis told Eddie, like, I know why you're really here, because I think that Daniel had also called Lewis and was like, I found out something. I think when Lewis called Daniel was saying that he had found out something about Lewis. But I feel like I made that up in my head. Like, it's giving Mandela effect on that. Because when I watched it the second time, I don't remember that part. But I remembered it from the first time I watched it. So, I don't really know. But anyways, Lewis shows up on his door, and he was like, I'm here because Mama Lou is sick. She has cancer. And then Jax comes home, and they tell Jax. And I really started to feel bad for Mama Lou, because I've been giving Mama Lou all kinds of hell this season. But she has cancer. And, I mean, I still don't think it excuses her behavior in the past towards Jax. But maybe that's why she was so gung-ho about Jax getting to know her dad. Because, like, she feels as though, like, she's going to need a parent sooner or later, because she won't be able to be there for Jax. Like, she'll either be going through sickness and, like, chemo and all of this, or she might, unfortunately, end up passing away. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but I'm thinking that maybe that's why she was so for Jax getting to know her father this time, and maybe it just wasn't all about her personal gain. But yeah, we'll see about that story in these upcoming episodes. Yeah, I really think it's gonna be good from here on out, because this episode was really, really good. Like I said, it was the best one so far, and I was very excited to see it. So yeah, y'all, let me know what y'all thinking about the show. Like I said, me and Miss Sharissa talk about it every Sunday after church. Thank you, Miss Sharissa, for all of your support. I definitely appreciate it. And for the rest of you that's watching and listening, I appreciate y'all as well. Please, please, please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Please subscribe to me on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts and Amazon Music. Please follow the Facebook page at Kintertainment and follow the Instagram at Kintertainment Pod. I will be back sooner than you think. And yeah, I can't wait for the next couple of episodes. I'm gonna be tuned in. I'm gonna be locked in. I can't wait to see what's really gonna happen. Let me know some of y'all theories, like some of y'all thoughts, because I know I went off the deep end on this episode with my theories. But let me know what y'all are thinking. And yeah, I'll see you guys soon. Have a good rest of your week. Bye.